I'm Dennis Pullin. One of my favorite parts about being president and CEO of Virtua Health is getting to know our colleagues and the many ways they are here for good. Each person contributes to healthy communities, and each person has a story to tell. Let's meet one. So Tim, thanks for joining me on Here for Good, the Inside Edition.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, I've been here now for a little over 7 years, and it seems like I've always seen you. So how long have you been at Virtua?
It'll be 10 years in September.
You have been here throughout my entire tenure, which is a good thing. Now, I know you work as one of our network engineers, correct? Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what that entails.
I'm on the infrastructure team for IT. Our team takes care of the physical network phone system, and my part of it is our AV infrastructure. So all of our conference rooms, event spaces.
You have an opportunity to do a lot of special events and programs. I'm sure you see and hear a lot of interesting things that happen throughout this process. Anything sort of jump out at you that you can recall?
I've seen a lot of different programs come through Virtua. I feel like it allows me to kind of stay on the edge of what's happening in the organization.
So you mentioned staying on the edge of things, and I know you have a tremendous amount of expertise in sort of the AV technology part, but talking about the edge and the creativity side of you, I know that you have also worked as an audio engineer, so much so that you've produced and recorded your own album.
Yeah, so...
how did I not know that? I've known you for 7 years. How did I not know that you had this hidden talent?
I do consider myself an audio engineer. And how I got into that initially was I kind of started music late in my career, like not doing anything until really high school. And pretty much as soon as I learned how to play a few chords, I started singing and writing songs. And that led me into the technology side of it because I said, well, I want to record my own music. And then when I started doing that, I got really into the technology end of things, and that kind of guided my career in that direction. I spent a long time recording choirs and orchestras, traveling around doing that. But in the past couple years, I decided that it was time to focus on my music that I've been kind of pushing to the side to do these other things.
Music is known sort of as a therapeutic tool. Even here at Virtua, we partner with musicians on call that come in and provide bedside music, and it's very therapeutic. Do you see that in the same light for yourself?
Music for me is very powerful, and I think for a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, it's a very powerful tool. For me, in my songwriting, there's things I write about that I may not even speak aloud, but I can sing about them.
Is there a particular genre of music that you are more interested in, or that you either perform, sing, or record?
Personally, in my own playing, I've gravitated more towards some folk and alternative folk music, and because it's got this really simple building block, but you can really find a lot of deep meaning in a lot of those songs.
At Virtua, and I've had people mention this to me, all of our commercials end with a certain piece of music. Explain to me how that's used to this sonic to connect people either with a brand, with a message. We all hear and see commercials and hear that last piece, not just Virtua, but any major brand, but I don't know if people really connect the dots in terms of how that's used in the industry.
Things in music affect you in ways you don't often realize or you're not conscious about, but different pitch and rhythm can evoke a lot of feelings. And I think especially for a brand, it's super important because you want to convey a certain feeling to the customer, whether that's like a feeling of stability or hope. I think our Sonic has a lot of that.
There's been times when I've found myself in the area of a TV and not really paying attention to it, and then at the end I will hear the Virtua Sonic, and it catches my attention. I was like, it automatically connects me with our brand. Is there a secret to finding that right music or that connection for people?
I think just going with your gut and finding what feels good to you and trusting that if it connects with you, it's bound to connect with somebody else.
So are you in a musically inclined family? I know you have a daughter. How old's your daughter?
6 years old.
Is she sort of musically inclined?
She is. My wife is extremely musically inclined. She's 100% the brains between the two of us. And my daughter has picked up a lot of that from us. Sometimes we'll just be playing music and she'll improvise her own songs on the spot, and they're incredibly well put together. So
I know you are working to record more of your music.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a second album, third album?
I put out a 5-song EP last fall, and I'm planning to do another one hopefully by later this summer.
Could you ever envision a day where there is a father-daughter duo on one of your tracks?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, she's great. Yeah,
She's getting close to that, huh?
She really is, yeah. I was testing out some equipment at my house the other day, and I just started playing a few chords in a pattern, and she just literally just picks up a microphone and starts singing along, and no issues. It was like she had written the song beforehand.
Did you press record anywhere?
I did. I started with my phone after she started. It would, she definitely has a knack for it.
How do you connect or tie the three things together? Your work for health system, the work that you do as an engineer here, a network engineer, and your music.
So the songwriting process for me is very creative, but also the technological side of it for me is just as creative as coming up with the song. And I try to use that creativity with all of our events as well. So my goal as a network engineer for our audiovisual systems is to allow everybody to have their event and allow their message to come across, to reach their customers, whether it just be their colleagues or, Virtua, the greater Virtua.
That sounds like the title of a song that you may want to write, The Greater Virtua. Right. I just think there is something there. Well, I have to tell you, Tim, I am impressed and blown away about your talent, your commitment, and all that you do for Virtua. I want to thank you for that. Thank you for being on Here for Good. I truly believe that what you do and what you bring to this organization reflects just that. It's about being here for good. So thank you for joining me on Here for Good.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Once again, we've had an opportunity to speak with another one of our very talented colleagues. Join us again for our next episode of the Inside Edition of Here for Good.